Broadcasting live from the basement of the Pentagon. This is WTF Nation Radio.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome. Boy, do we have a show for you guys tonight. This is episode 8 of Pop Culture Warrior, the show where I stay up to date on all the ins and outs of what's happening in pop culture so you don't have to. I am CQ. I am your pop culture consultant, and with me, as always, is the vibranium shield to my Captain America, the voice of the unpop cultured, the talented Mr. Radar. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, CQ? How you been, buddy?
Oh, I'm so happy to be back on air. This is the highlight of my week. This is the joy of my week. So I am super happy to be here. How you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm quarantined.
You're quarantined, aren't
yeah.
we all? Got to make yourself some quarantinis. That's
right.
Got to be the drink. I'm trying a little new setup here so that I can kind of monitor chats and see what's going on with our lovely folks. I know we got a bunch of people in. I'm so happy to see you all. I see King Smith. I see Jenny. I see Leanne. I see Comment Boss. We got you up in the chats, Radar, man. Thank you guys all for being here. This is super exciting. Oh, I feel like we're on the verge of something great. I'm ready. I'm vibrating. Are you vibrating? I'm vibrating.
I turned my phone on silent, so yeah.
Well done, man. You've got the chops for stand-up comedy, man. We're gonna have to talk off screen about that. Hey, Spanky, what's going on? How you doing? We got everybody. Chris, man, what's up, dude? Woo! How you doing, bud? We got everybody up in the chat. So we've got sound working. We've got music working. I got lights in the background. We are killing it. Dave, how's it going, bud? We are rocking and rolling, man. And I've got, best of all, I've got zero dropped frame rates. That's always the best thing to have. Zero dropped frame rates. So I'm super pumped, man. Ah, this is it. This is what we've been working so hard for. Anyway, enough about that. Thank you all for joining. Hey, we got Steve Harvey in the house. What's up, man? He's giving a shout out to Radar Nation, the Nation. I was gonna say Radar and the Nation, and I came out with Radar Nation, which that's kind of a cool thing. We can start that.
You have to wear black and sober.
There you go, the Raider Nation. Yeah, was it beer, pizza, beer? Yes. Look at that. WTFNR mom is in the house. Wash your damn hands, kids, before you come into the show. Please take off your shoes and wash your damn hands, okay? And then come and join us while we're enjoying our little quarantining here at the show. All right, I've got so much to talk about. So I was so sick of hearing COVID-19 news, right? I'm so sick of saying the only news we've got is that this is canceled and that's canceled and this is canceled and that's canceled. And, it breaks my heart, but the show must go on. So what could I possibly talk about on Pop Culture Warrior when pop culture as we know it is like shut down? So I delved the bowels of the internet. I dove down deep into the bowels so that we could pull out some fresh pop culture nuggets. So, what say you? Shall we commence with this week's news and pop culture?
Yes, please. Let's do this.
Well, then, without further ado, let's get geeky. This is where like a nice transition wipe. Okay. So, up first, let's do, I don't know. Let's do, what do you think? Movie news. I think movie news is where it's at tonight. What's that? I see King Smith's got a comment already. I'm going to count how many times you say after this sentence is supposed to. All right, cool. Sony Pictures. Sony Pictures and Michael Bay, best known for like Transformers movies and all these big box office blockbusters. Wow, that is a tongue twister. Big box office blockbusters. They've signed an exclusive multi-year deal. And it looks like Sony Pictures will be producing both film and TV projects with Michael Bay. The deal was mostly being already worked on like prior to January, so like this isn't like coronavirus related. Like they didn't just decide to do this. This is something that's been in the works for a while. And they that Marauder in Doom Eternal, very nice. I got great comments tonight. This is really kicking it off early. I like it. So the deal puts Bay back at the studio where he made his directorial debut. So he started directing with 1995's Bad Boys, which just saw, Bad Boys for Life released not too long ago. And he did reprise as director for the sequel and the most recent installment, which was Bad Boys for Life. And he's even in that, like he had a little cameo in the movie. He's the wedding MC, which I thought was cheeky. But yes, so Sony Pictures and Michael Bay have committed to a long-term deal, multi-year deal, which is interesting to me. It's interesting to me. That's where he started his career, and now to see, Sony's doing some things. Right? We know that they still own the rights to all the Spider-Man franchises. We know they own a few other properties. So I don't think. I really thought about this, and I don't think that they're gonna bring him in on any of like the Spider-Man stuff. It's not his foray, even though he's done stuff like Transformers and these big explosion movies. He's not really. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the right fit for him. Maybe they'll do either other property or completely original IP. So we'll see. So Chris says lots of explosions, and maybe Megan Fox. That's maybe. I don't know. Has she done anything ever lately? I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw Megan Fox on a screen. But what do you think, man? What do you think? Michael Bay doing Sony movies. What do you think? Is this a good thing or bummer?
I don't think it'll be a bad thing. I think he produces all right. I think it'll do fine. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it depends on what they announce, right? I mean, he just did that Netflix movie. Was it Six Underground with Ryan Reynolds? Which, you know, it's an action movie. It's an explosions, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I watched it. It was a I enjoyed it as a Netflix movie. I enjoyed it. So, oh, we got Adam Keys in the house. Yo, yo, what's up, Adam? Appreciate you being here, bud. Adam Keys is an awesome, awesome comedian. We showed one of his clips not so long ago, a couple episodes ago. So thanks for stopping in, bro. We got Orlando in the house. It's called Bayformers. That's right. That's right. I see my buddy. I got Tim in the house, man. Thanks for joining, man. Thanks for checking us out. Yeah, we got a whole. Is it? Everybody's here, and I wonder why. Is it because we're all quarantined and stuck in our house? So you got nothing better than to tune in and watch CQ tear it up on his own late night talk show. What's up, Tim, man? I see you there, buddy. Glad to have you, bud. Yeah, so Michael Bay, we don't have anything concrete else to go on other than they've got a deal. So I'm really curious to see where this kind of ends up. So we'll see. We'll see with that. Moving on, and I want to cue up a little something. So, have you seen any of these DC animated movies? Have you ever watched one? They're the direct, usually direct to digital or movies. They've done like Flashpoint. They've done Hush. They've done a lot of Batman stuff, Superman stuff. Have you seen any of those movies?
I don't think so.
Not your name.
Was there a Spider-Man one?
That was it. So okay, remember Spider-Man, Marvel,
Uh-huh.
DC, different company. So this is
Yeah,
specifically.
but I didn't know if there. I've seen a couple animated Spider-Man ones.
Yes. No. There's definitely some. There's some Spider-Man stuff like Spider-Verse and things like that. So talking specifically DC. So that's your Batman properties, your Justice League, your Wonder Woman, your Superman. So they have for a long time. Marvel was killing it with the movies, but DC was really killing it with these like animated movies, right? So they did Batman and Robin, Hush. They did Teen Titans. They did Death of Superman. Just a bunch of movies. So if you've been out there watching, Chris, the animated Doctor Strange, that was good. So if you've been watching the because it's hard to explain because they've been releasing these animated movies, and there's some that are within the universe, and then there are some kind of outside the universe. So the idea is that they kind of put this almost the way Marvel did with the cinematic universe. They wanted to put this kind of like animated universe together, where you would see people pop up in each other's movies, and they all kind of take place in the same, universe. So to turn a phrase. And yeah, Chris, you said that Killing Joke was awesome. It was awesome. So funny thing about Killing Joke is that that's the famous Joker story. Movies like that, even though released during this time of these animated movies, technically fall outside of the purview of the universe. So you had like the main timeline, and then they released like Gotham by Gaslight. They released Killing Joke. Trying to remember the other one they released, but they released a few that fell outside of the kind of universe. So it's the same way to draw a conclusion. It's the same way, or analogy, I guess. The same way that DC did its movie universe, where there was the Justice League, right? There was the Batman, the Superman, the Wonder Woman, the Shazam, the Justice League. They're all in one universe. But then they also released Joker, which was totally different. And they're talking about releasing, or they, I guess Suicide Squad was kind of in the universe and kind of out. I mean, it's a little bit back and forth. And yeah, I got people saying that DC should stick to the animated movies. Yeah, they kill it with the animated movies. So anyway, this is the point I was bringing up. So these are, you can take a look here, just a few of the animated movies that they've released over the last couple of years. The reason I'm bringing it up is the newest one's coming out, called Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. This is going to be their version of like Avengers Endgame. This is the biggest animated movie that they have done so far. And it's kind of being crafted that way on purpose. So with Apocalypse War, right now they're saying that that's going to end kind of their animated universe. And this animated universe started with Flashpoint Paradox in 2013. And this is expected to release in May. This is going to be kind of the culmination. They're still going to be releasing animated movies, but I think they want to kind of go back to more of the one off here, one off there, different story, different story, different story, instead of one continued universe. So Apocalypse War will serve as a ending point for that Justice League animated universe. But there's, like I said, they're still going to be pumping out movies. They you know, you got to look at, like, they were pumping these movies out fast and furious because in 2019 alone they pumped out 6 animated movies. Now 2 of those, which one was Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then the other one was Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans. See, those movies weren't part of this major timeline, this universe that they have. So they've already been kind of releasing these offshoot movies, and I think they want to go towards doing more of that instead of continuing this long-running story arc. But like I said, this Apocalypse War is going to be crazy. The characters, they're going to have John Constantine, Superman, Raven, Damian Wayne, Darkseid, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, Lois Lane, Lex Luthor, Jon Stewart, Swamp Thing, Hal Jordan, Aquaman, Martian Manhunter, Shazam, Zatanna, Deadman, Captain Boomerang, Trigon, Mera, King Shark, Harley Quinn, and a dozen more people in this movie. It's going to be massive. And some of the names that they got to portray it, Rosario Dawson's in it, a bunch of legends, man. I wish I had the list off the top of my head, but a bunch of big names coming in to portray some of the voices, doing the different characters. So Justice League Dark Apocalypse War is set for digital release May 5th before a physical home media release on Blu-ray and 4K UHR on May 19th. So I highly recommend, if you have kids, you got the kids that love comics and superheroes, DC does a lot of people accuse me of being like all over Marvel and not liking DC. And I'm like, no, I like good product. DC kills it in the animated game. They come out with some really, really good stuff. Visually, storytelling, writing, directing, it's solid. I wish their movies were that good. And so definitely check out these movies. I highly recommend Flashpoint Paradox. It's so good. It's basically Flash goes back. He gets sick of being the Flash, and he gets sick of doing all this. So he goes back in time, because he ran so damn fast. He goes back in time and he stops his mother's assassination, which, butterfly effect means that he never becomes Flash. And also it turns out like that changes everything, because like Batman doesn't become Batman. So I don't remember how they're connected, but somehow Batman doesn't become Batman. Instead, it's like Bruce Wayne gets killed and his dad becomes this evil kind of Batman, and his mother becomes like the female Joker. It's crazy. It's absolutely ludicrous. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are hooking up, and they're like trying to take over the world. It's banana pants. It's hilarious. It's so good. Definitely check out Flashpoint Paradox and a lot of the other DC animated movies. There's some really good ones. So hopefully, Radar, now that you're home, you ain't got much to do, go find some of these movies, man. Yeah, I put up the list there. I'll send you some links, man. You gotta check out some.
You'd be so proud of me. You really would.
I would. I want your take. I want
No.
what you think when you come back, and I want you got to give us a field report after you've seen some of these DC animated movies, because I think you'll like it. I think you'll really like it.
I think I will too. But here you have to be proud of me for just 1 minute.
All right.
So, Googled the Avengers movies, right? And which order to watch them, the right order. Ooh. And we started on Saturday night.
Okay, hold on.
We've been watching all of them in the right order to get to the end.
Hold on 1 second though. The right order sequentially by release or chronologically in the timeline. By storyline. So you're talking, starting with Captain America 1, going into Captain Marvel, then Iron Man 1, or depending on when Thor takes place, because it's kind of iffy, past tense, future tense kind of thing. So in that kind of order.
Yep. I Googled which order to watch the Avengers movies in or whatever.
Very nice.
And it had that you start out with I think we started out with the first not Iron Man. God damn it, you got me all flustered now. We started out with Captain America,
Right.
the first one, the
First Avenger. Yep.
Yep, and then we went through like that order that way.
Very nice.
So
very nice. And what? So wait. So you did the whole like 22 movie marathon?
No, not yet. No.
You
not
just
like
started.
yet. We're going to.
Okay.
So right now we're on Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2. Okay. All right. So you're in a good place, right? So like it started good. There was a little, let's be honest, there's a little dip in how good the quality was. You know, Iron Man 2, Thor 2, there was a bit of a dip, but then you hit Captain America 2 and The Winter Soldier, and boy howdy, it really takes off. Small dip on Iron Man 3 because it was but after that, like, they are phenomenal movies. I Not too long ago, this was maybe a year or two ago, my sister-in-law had only seen like one or two of the movies in passing and certain scenes, and I was like, no. We sat down and we watched, just like you said, we watched in chronological order based on the timing of events, all the movies from start all the way up to Endgame. And we actually we finished watching Infinity War, and this was a couple weeks before Endgame came out. So we're sitting at home, you know, spoiler alert, if you didn't see Infinity War, heroes die. And she's like, what the fuck? You know, like, oh my God, what happens next? And I was like, we'll have to see Endgame in a few weeks. She's like, what? Are you kidding me? That's how you're going to introduce me to these characters? And now we've been watching for, I think it was like 4 days in a row. We were watching these movies. And yeah, she was a little livid that I left her hanging on such a cliffhanger. Because let's be honest, almost all those movies end pretty well. Like, they end in a suitable fashion. There's very little cliffhanger. There's always like the little post-credit teasers to tease the next movie, but there's no cliffhanger. Avengers Infinity War changed that. It left people hanging what happens next. So yeah, I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited for you. I want to hear. Have your kids seen all these movies already or no?
The kids have. You know what? I've seen them piecemeal.
Right.
You know, it's like I haven't lived under a fucking rock. It's not like I've never seen any of them.
Right.
But to sit down and actually watch them, the order they're supposed to be and everything is pretty fun. I'm really enjoying it. And I knew you'd be proud of me, so I was like, yeah, I better bring it up.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool. He's got a comment. I got my Fat Thor cosplay down. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to get out of that cosplay myself from in-game. But yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I'm so happy to hear that you're doing that. That's awesome. Very, very cool.
I did have to take a break for Tiger King. Just saying.
Everybody's all about that Tiger King right now. Right.
Fuck yeah, Carol fucking Bastion.
there's a separate conversation about that we're gonna have, but all right, cool. Let's move on to that because I got a bunch of good stuff I want to talk about, and then we'll talk Tiger King. So again, in movies, so Daniel Craig, best known as James Bond, he has amassed quite a fortune. Obviously, I mean, he's been in a bunch of the biggest, James Bond films. And to the tune of, he's got like 125 million just kind of in his, and that's just like laying around cash, I guess. But during an interview, he said that when he dies, that he will leave nothing to his children because he feels, quote, inheritance is distasteful. The article goes, the actor whose final James Bond film has been delayed, obviously because of coronavirus, says that his philosophy for his wealth is to get rid of it or give it away before you go. Like don't take it with you. Don't give it to, I guess, give it away. I mean, you'd be giving it away to your kids, but he means, I guess, outside of his own family. He told Saga magazine, I don't want to leave great sums to the next generation. Craig, who's 52, has 2 children, one of whom he had with his wife Rachel Weisz in 2018. His other daughter, Ella, is from his previous marriage to Fiona Loudon. The new Bond film is set to, like, it's got pushed from April to November, which is probably going to cost MGM like $50 million to move the movie. You think, oh, it's no big deal. You just move the date and no big deal, but like the amount that goes into publicity and marketing and strategic planning and making posters with the right date on them, like all told is about $50 million to move this movie, which is crazy. But I got to thinking, this made me think, if you were to amass a great fortune, do you go the Daniel Craig James Bond route and say they get nothing? Or what say you? How do you what would your plan be if you were bestowed all this money and now your time's coming to an end?
God, you'd have to leave them something. You know what I mean? Like, I would want my kids to be well off enough where they could go to college and all that stuff. I wouldn't want to leave them $100-some million. Fuck that. Bury me in like a gold ass casket or something. You'll see me like King Tut. I don't give a fuck. I leave them that much, but
right.
But I ain't giving it away neither. No, all these motherfuckers like, oh, you can donate it to. Nope, I ain't donating to shit. I'm donating it to fucking something cool, maybe like I don't know, CQ's fucking
Pop Culture Warrior. We're gonna be lit up, yo.
All this memorabilia I got, yeah. Fucking Radar died. He left me all his money, so I had to buy me some shit.
We'll rename I'll tell you what. We'll rename it Radar's CQ's Pop Culture Warrior. Radar's Pop Culture Warrior, hosted by CQ. There you go. You can naming rights. For anybody that's millionaires out there, I will totally sell out. We'll put your name all over this thing. Please donate to us, to the station. We'll make it so and so's WTF Nation Radio. If you want to donate millions of dollars, we're happy to take. But yeah, no, I guess I'm I don't know. I'm somewhere in the middle. I mean, if you got Craig here and you here, I'm somewhere right in the middle because I have my child and my son, and obviously I want him to be okay. And I would probably set up some sort of a small pittance, a small amount of money that says, like if you choose to go to college, this is to pay for your college, and it'll be, handled by lawyers because I don't trust you to handle money. I don't know you really yet how you're going to handle money. So it's got to be done by lawyers, but your school would be paid for if you choose to go to school. Get you a car. But, outside of that, I want him to earn. I want him to work. I want him to build something of his own. I want him to not rely on other people, including me and my money. So I do see where Daniel Craig's coming from, and I do see where you're coming from, because I would want to make sure that he's got the essentials. But I don't want him living in some penthouse suite where he does nothing but order his butler around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, I see. Orlando Ortiz, you're out there. Jackie Chan's planning to do the same. Okay, there you go. Even Jackie Chan. I mean, I don't think Jackie Chan's got it like Daniel Craig, but I mean, I love Jackie Chan, and that man deserves all his money for the beating he takes. But yeah, no. So I'm sure that there's quite a few people out there. I in the reading and listening to these interviews and podcasts and stuff, you hear a lot of these, let's call them millennial celebrities. I don't know, the current generation of celebrities that really work their ass off to get to where they're at, and there is a sense of like, yes, we want to give our kids everything, but at the same time, like, they're gonna get nothing pretty much. So I've seen a lot of that.
You take care of things that you work for.
Yeah.
I really believe that. And my kids never got to worry about me leaving them a lot of money.
Not an issue.
But I mean, like, in all fairness to that, you see the kids, like, if you give them a car, they beat the shit out of it, right?
Yeah.
But if they earn that car, if they work for it, if they have some sweat equity into it or cash money or whatever, they take a little bit better care of it.
Absolutely.
And I think that if you were to just give a child, I don't know, that kind of money is fucking insane. But, when I die, my kids might get like $20-$30. So they might. I don't want to give them all that at once. They'll spend it all at once on beer and pizza or some shit.
Right. Pizza party when Dad's dead. Got it. Okay. Yeah. No. I did. In some fantasy world where I have all this money, I do think I would donate it to really worthwhile charities. There might be a few close people in my circle that, like, they've always had my back. They've always been there for me. I'm not gonna leave them huge chunks of money, but like, hey, I'll pay off this guy's house, or hey, I'll pay off that guy's debt, or something like that, where it's like, okay, I've cleared you of the past. Now the future is yours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like kind of a thing. And then the large sum of it would definitely probably go to some charities that I believe in. You know, service dog organizations, veteran organizations, childhood cancer organizations. You know, things that I believe in and I think would be worthwhile and use that money well.
Well, and here's the other option too: is like at your funeral or wake or whatever, you could just have like a Charlie Sheen pie plate full of blow too, and like for all your buddies. Just saying.
What was that? What was that old the meme where it's like, "What do you do if you win the millionaire? Hookers and blow, hookers and cocaine." And that's it. It's just it's a funeral full of hookers and cocaine. That's the trick.
That too.
All right, well, all right. We've beat that to death.
Oh no, we have not. Well, I mean, I don't know how many hookers you've beat to death, but just.
Shh, don't. Neither here nor there. That's not important. Those were my old days, man. That was a different CQ back then. So I promised not a lot of COVID-19 news, but I did want to update some people on some movies that are coming out or should have been coming out, and just, you know, if you're looking forward to these movies, just a heads up. So Spiral, which is the Saw franchise's continuation / reboot with like Chris Rock and Sam Jackson, it was slated to open May 15th. Lionsgate has removed it from the release calendar, and no new date has been set yet. So Spiral, the Saw movie, is, we'll see. Minions: The Rise of Gru has been postponed as well. In a release by the Illuminations company lead, in response to the severity of the situation in France, which is where a lot of the company is based out of, we're temporarily closing our Illumination MacGuff studio in Paris. Illumination CEO Chris Melderini said, with this decision, we are abiding by French government guidelines and doing everything possible to slow the spread of the virus as we care for our artists and their families. This means we'll be unable to finish Minions: The Rise of Gru in time for our planned global release in late June, early July. And while we grapple with the enormity of this crisis, we must put the safety and protection of our employees above all. We look forward to finding a new release date and for the return of Gru and the Minions. So, for those of you with kids and wanted to take them to the Minions movie, the next Minions movie, that's going to be all the craze, like always is, that has been postponed indefinitely. Another one, Wonder Woman 1984, which was set to come out June 5th, and originally they're like, nope, we're going to make it because by then that'll all be done. And then it was like, oh, we're pulling it. And then there was rumors that it was going to go straight to on demand, which I called it was ridiculous because they're not going to put the amount of money they put into that movie, which was shot like 3 years ago. They've been doing like mostly special effects works for the last 3 years. And so they've announced, and this is straight from the director, Patty Jenkins, the new date is released August 14th. And she says, we made Wonder Woman 1984 for the big screen, and I believe in the power of cinema. In these terrible times when theater owners are struggling, as so many are, we are excited to redate our film to August 14th this year in a theater near you, and we pray for better times for all by then. So, as we said, on the show, like, there was no way a movie like that, a movie like Black Widow, is going to go straight to on demand or DVD or whatever. And Chris, you're saying that you're sad that the production of the Lord of Rings series is halted. Yeah, a lot of series, and I'm going to touch on that in a minute too. But a lot of series are delayed or indefinitely held up. So more movies, again, for guys with kids. Scoob, which was like the origin story of Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Inc. gang. It's currently being postponed. The original release date was May 15th, and we don't have a new release date just yet. This one hurts. This one hits me right here. Ghostbusters Afterlife, which is it's not really a reboot, not really a sequel boot, re-sequel. It's the follow-up to the original Ghostbusters movie. It's got Paul Rudd in it and a bunch of other talented guys. The sequel was supposed to hit July this summer, and it's been pushed back to almost a year from now, March 5th of 2021. So that is a big push for that movie, which I know a lot of people were interested in, being that they just released the first teaser trailer not too long ago. Morbius.
Are they done filming that?
Yeah, so as far as I'm aware, production is wrapped. And again, this is a movie that was coming out in July, so they're like wrapping up, special effects with a lot of these movies. A lot of these, effects heavy movies wrap in three to 6 months, and then they spend a year or 2 years, doing special effects. So being that it was supposed to be released in July, I can almost guarantee you it was pretty much done as far as principal photography. So yeah, so unfortunately, again, and I'll say this with all these movies and all these shows and all this coronavirus nonsense, my hope is that we see a resurgence, a boom in the release of movies and TV, creativity, special effects, people pushing the boundaries, new stuff coming out because they have nothing but time to work on the music, nothing but time to work on scripts, nothing but time to work on special effects. So I want to see a renaissance, a new era of filmmaking, storytelling, and all this come out of this. Because right now they should be writing the best scripts of their lives. They should be doing the best special effects of their lives, composing the best music of their lives, because they've got nothing else to do. And if not for nothing else, I mean, look, this has obviously been tragic. There's loss of life. People are affected by this, and will, come out of this. We'll all come out of it, but people's lives are changed from this. So at the very least, we can hope for is just some really cool stuff to come out of pop culture. And maybe medicine, technology, science, whatever. But we're here to talk about pop culture.
But here's the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, medicine, whatever.
Whatever.
They're already not doing anything. Just no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But I really think that we look at times like after other great tragedies, after 9/11 or after World War II or whatever, how much, especially film, has helped people kind of get through those stressful situations.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I'm more of a historian than a pop culture guy.
Sure.
But I'm telling you, like, you can look back and that sort of kind of exchange of information through film has really helped the world get through these big events. And I think this is going to be one of them.
Yeah.
And like you said, they have a ton of time now to refine all the special effects in these movies, to get through all of their shit and write some cool scripts. I'm really am excited, and I'm not a big movie guy, but I think it's gonna be cool. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of these productions are on a tight schedule. There are stories of like how they're doing reshoots like 3 weeks before the release of the movie, and they're touching up special effects, and look at what happened with Sonic and redoing all the effects, and so there's tight time constraints on these companies. And so now they're like, hey, you've got another 8 months, you've got another 3 months, you got another year, whatever. You're postponed indefinitely. We should see something great coming out of this. But yeah, and then which saying things like 9/11 also triggers the thought of like, how long until we see a movie about the coronavirus, like a doc, like not just a documentary, but like in the vein of like when they did the World Trade Center movie or the Flight 93 movie, like all these movies that retell these amazing stories, and you find out like all this information that you might have heard secondhand, or you didn't get all the information of, but I'm sure like somebody's already sitting down to like put all the info together, the stats together, the charting this thing, and not just a documentary, which obviously is kind of a given at this point. It'll be a documentary, but that kind of big budget Hollywood remake of the fall of 2020. You know what I mean? So yeah, we'll see. But
the year we had to teach adults how to wash their fucking hands.
Yes, yeah. That became the biggest thing of 2020, is just wash your damn hands.
I mean, I hate saying this, but like, it's been a fucking wild ride since New Year's. I mean, it's fucking going
every
crazy.
Every month is brought. I mean, we've had Australian wildfires, we've had the coronavirus, we've had every month has been brought something just where you're like, okay, it can't get any worse, can it? And it just keeps getting worse.
That's why you don't say that shit. That's why you never say, well, it can't get any fucking worse, can it? Because it will.
It's
but
true.
I mean,
it's true. But to wrap up the movies,
I want to see like the fucking 82nd go to war with Iran in a movie, not in real life, but like have them. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
That's out of left field, but all right. Okay, we're jumping into
What's like all the
politics.
crazy shit that happened this year? Remember when the 82nd had to go? Like, this is fucking. It feels like a decade ago, but it was like 3 months ago. Remember when they had to fucking bounce, like at New Year's or whatever?
Yeah. They got swept up all at once
War with
overnight.
Iran or some shit. Like, have some kind of cool action film based on that. That'd be cool. But not like just showing them a Camp Beering like beating off in a porta shitter, but like have them like. I don't know. Do something really cool with it. I don't know.
Yeah. No. Hey, I mean, a lot of if you've watched the Jack Ryan series on Amazon Prime, it's first of all phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, you like that military kind of spy, drama / action / whodunit kind of style of stuff. It's a great series. I would love it. You could easily wrap up some world intrigue stuff about Iran and the military act and standing up and getting ready, and Jack Ryan swoops in and saves the day by diffusing the situation or something like that. That could easily be done. Who knows? We might see that, or he stops some bioterrorism COVID-19 style thing.
Comes in with the vaccine and fucking sprays it over everyone with a helicopter or some shit.
I'd say you never know. You just inject it straight into the drinking water. That's how they get them. But okay, so two more movies that have been postponed, unfortunately. Morbius, which is again a Sony Pictures spin-off Spider-Man universe kind of side character movie, like they're doing with Venom and the others. Being held by Jared Leto. It is in production, and it was set for March 19th, which was a couple days ago, and obviously wasn't released, and it's been bumped to where it was originally supposed to be. I'm sorry, I got that backwards. Let's try this again. Originally it was supposed to be in July 31st, is bumped to March 19th of next year. So it's gonna get like a 8-month bump from summer of this year to early spring of next year.
Yeah, that's quite the bump on that one.
There's a couple, man. There was Fast and Furious was supposed to come out this summer, and they bumped them all the way to like April of next year.
Right.
So yeah, there's
Wonder Woman coming out at the middle of August. Hopefully by then we're kind of back to normal. You think?
That's the hope, and I think they're kind of banking on being one of the first big budget movies to be back in theaters. And I think they're kind of, they might fall into some good luck, let's call it, that, people just want to get back out and do stuff. And, Wonder Woman's out, let's go see that. And it sees a big boost in sales. Or it just makes it back and people are still like quarantine crazy, where they're like, I don't want to touch anything. And, it's kind of like when 9/11 happened, how, people didn't fly for months after, even though it was a one-day isolated situation. Like people still didn't fly for months, just out of fear. And I have a feeling that might play into like, if we get the all clear in, let's say, August, maybe people don't go back to theaters till like September, October. Just based on wanting to avoid it. The last movie is Uncharted, and that's the movie based on the video game Uncharted. Being played by Tom Holland, and Mark Wahlberg's gonna be it. Antonio Banderas gonna be it. This thing has been before the COVID-19 scare. Like this thing has gotten kicked down the road time and time and time again. So unfortunately, they were finally ready to start production. They were literally set to start production in July. Obviously, that's all gotten pushed back. I'm sorry, no, they were supposed to start in. Yeah, I think it was July. But yeah, so it was originally slated for March of next year, and is now being pushed to October of next year. So that's a pretty big bump, like that. That means we're not going to see that movie until like almost 2022. It's a month or two shy of 2022. So that's a ridiculously long bump if you would talk big bumps. But all right. So enough about that. That's all the sad quarantine kind of news, and it's a bummer, and it is what it is. We can't do nothing about that. I've got some good news. I've got some things we can talk about to lift you guys up and lift your spirits. Let's see. Oh, I got a great one here for you. Let's do this. And are you a fan of, or were you a fan of the show Scrubs? Remember the fake doctor series? Oh, then you're gonna love this. So check this out. Zach Braff and Donald Faison are launching a Scrubs-related podcast. It's going to be called Fake Doctors, Real Friends with Zach and Donald. It's being produced by iHeartRadio, and the actors will look back at the 9 years they spent making the show, sharing behind-the-scenes stories, reminiscing about their favorite moments from filming. They're also going to do interviews with other former castmates and superfans as well. The original show, obviously created by Bill Lawrence, it followed a group of young doctors at a fictional teaching hospital called Sacred Heart. It aired from 2001 to 2010 and started on NBC and ended up on ABC. To pay tribute to the show's use of music, Fake Doctors, Real Friends. Let me read this correctly. To pay tribute to the show's use of music, Fake Doctors and Real Friends will feature a theme song with music created by Charlie Puth and lyrics written and performed by Braff and Faison themselves. The show drops Tuesday on the iHeartRadio network, and new episodes available every Tuesday. I believe it came out today, because I believe this story I pulled from yesterday or the day before. So look out, if you're into podcast and you're into the show Scrubs, I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna go find it and listen in, because I was a huge fan. I'm very curious to hear the behind the scenes stuff. I love behind the scenes stuff. I love it. Doesn't care what the show is. When I used to buy DVDs on, movies on DVD, first thing I would do is, like, I've seen the movie already, so I put it in, put in the gag reel, put in the deleted scenes, put in the behind the scenes stuff. I love the Marvel movie stuff where, they show the making of featurettes and things like that. So I'm a big fan of learning about the industry and how they make the sausage, right? So I'm very excited about that. You listen to a lot of podcasts?
Almost exclusively. That's kind of how I started doing this. I used to listen to the podcast and then they're like, "Oh, we need help." I'm like, "Oh, cool. Here's our shit." But
see, guys,
because I drive for work. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I drive 40 hours a week, so you have to listen to podcast. I don't know if I want that or not, though. I love that show. I love Scrubs. That's one of the few long-term series that I've watched every single one of.
Very nice. Yeah.
But I'm kind of in that mode where I don't know. I've got this, like, they say don't meet your hero kind of deal.
Right.
I wonder if it's like that.
Well,
that kind of scares me a little bit. Like, I'm kind of
there is that. I don't know. There's definitely issues. There's reasons they say don't meet your heroes, but I've had very good success. Kind of meet Stan Lee.
But you know what? I'm very, very happy that they are such good friends in real life.
They are very real friends, and if you follow their Twitters and the different things, they're always posting about, like, they obviously don't hang out as much as they did when they filmed, but they've stayed very close and still talk frequently, and now they're going to be doing a weekly podcast together. So that is very cool, and I'll be tuning in. I highly recommend anybody else after you listen to our show.
I'll listen to it at least once and give it a shot.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as I say, make sure you listen to our show first on podcast and all the other wonderful WTF Nation Radio podcasts first. Then when you've done all that for the week, I definitely recommend checking out Fake Doctors, Real Friends with Zach and Donald every Tuesday. And so more good stuff, right? Because I plumbed the depths, because I wanted, like, what's free stuff, what's content, you guys. Obviously, everybody's going crazy at home and watching stuff and trying to absorb as much as they can, fill their time with some stuff. So Howard Stern, everybody knows Howard Stern. You got to know Howard Stern. And SiriusXM have announced free access to streaming content from now until May 15th. So SiriusXM and its most popular host Howard Stern announced today, that the satellite radio provider will start offering free access to its full lineup of premier streaming content to listeners in North America through May 15th. The company said that anyone who is not already a subscriber can download the app or go to SiriusXM.com/stream free and start listening free of charge with no credit card, no commitment required. With so many people asked to stay at home, we're making our full streaming lineup, music, entertainment, news, and information easily accessible to everyone. In the days ahead, we hope it's a valuable source of information or diversion, a generous mix of fresh live content, and a source of companionship that comes from the host on our many shows and channels. And there is no better way to launch the stream-free content than with Howard this morning. It was Howard Stern that announced it this morning, recording live from his home. The overall offer from the New York-based company includes access to over 300 channels of programming, and it already has 35 million paid subscribers. So, I mean, awesome that they're providing this for people. Obviously, it's business, right? We're always business first, and I'm sure it's a way to go. Like, all right, let's see if we can drum up some extra subscribers, because they're like, we'll give it to you for free, and then you go, oh my god, I love it so much, I got to pay for it to get more of it. But take advantage, right? That's now to May. That's 2 months of free service of satellite or Sirius XM. So definitely go out there, download it, download the app, or go to SiriusXM.com/stream-free. Are you a Sirius guy, a satellite radio guy? Radar?
Nope, and fuck them. Fuck them. No, it's not okay. Two things. One, I live in the mountains, right?
Right.
So satellite anything sucks up here. GPS sucks up here. Satellite radio is even fucking worse, right? And then so I got it free. I bought a car and it was in there, and I was like, okay, fine, we get like a free trial, whatever. And then after that year, holy shit, they call like every 7 minutes. You sure don't want to renew yours?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to renew it. I don't listen to it in the first place.
Yeah, they do.
But if I lived in like a city or something, or if I lived not in BFE, might be a good program. Might not be. I don't know. Like, my parents have it. They love it, but they don't live in the middle of nowhere, so they kind of get used to it, I guess. But
all right.
I have my phone. I got 64 gigs of music on my phone and all my podcasts and shit. But as far as Sirius goes, I don't know.
Well, hey, I'm bringing.
Some people swear by it. So.
I'm bringing it to the masses, to the people, everyone that's out there. This is for you, right? Because everybody has their own thing. Some people like the podcast like you do, and some people like the streaming stuff, and some people want the radio stuff. So I'm just digging all this stuff up for you guys. Take advantage of it. I mean, this is.
And I love free shit. I love free shit. So if you get it for free,
we're vets, man. We love everything for free. Come Veterans Day, you get them free dinners.
Discount on their free shit.
Yeah, you get a sticker. You get a cookie and a sticker. So what else? Oh yes, I put up the TV news banner because, speaking of free access to streaming stuff, CBS All Access. We talked about it last week that they were releasing the Picard episodes for free. Well, they've decided to take it further. So right now, let me read it this way. I typed up a nice little blurb. If you're already running out of things to watch at home, CBS All Access is there to help. The streaming subscription service has already offered up a free trial for 30 days. First, they did the free trial, and they did the free episodes of Picard. But since it looks like social distancing is going on for at least another month, they've extended the trial period for another 30 days. That means you get 60 days CBS All Access free trial right now. You can watch the Twilight Zone reboot and all the other stuff that they have. All you have to do to get this is go over to the streaming service website. When you go to checkout, use the promo code GIFT, G-I-F-T. That'll sign you up for a 1-month free trial. Once you create the account, you go into account settings. In the subscription and billing area, you can put in another promo code, ENJOY, E-N-J-O-Y, as a promo code, and they'll give you a second month free. So that's 60 days. Use code GIFT and then code ENJOY, and you'll get 60 months of undisturbed free service that lets you. They've got all the obviously the Picard show. They've got all the CSIs, all of them: Los Angeles, Miami, Nevada, NSS, CSI, SSS. They got the MacGyver. They got the Hawaii Five-0. They got all the Star Treks like ever. They have reality shows. So you've got Survivor, Big Brother, Amazing Race. Just a ton of stuff. And if you got all that content out of the way, even for you old fogies out there, they've got things like Magnum PI, I Love Lucy, the original Mission Impossible, Family Ties, Perry Mason, Taxi. So yeah, they've got a ton of content. So if you're stuck at home for the next 60 days, sign up for free access to CBS All Access. So you're welcome. We're just doling out content here. You guys are missing out if you're missing this. Any of those ring true for you? Yeah, you're a Trekkie.
A bunch. I probably end up watching a lot of it. Oh, speaking of that, the History Channel's doing that too for their History Vault or whatever.
Okay.
It's that 30-day free trial for them if you guys are interested in like History Channel shows, because I'm kind of a nerd. But they do that. They free 30 days, same kind of deal. Sign up and they'll give you you got to sign up for like start a new account or whatever. But yeah, you can. There's so many of that stuff. If you, like I said, we got a little scare here at the house with the Rona, with the Ronavirus.
With the Ronas.
So the Ronas. So we're planning on being in for a couple weeks, and a lot of that stuff. If you look, there's all kinds of games giving out free stuff as well.
Yep.
There's all kinds of shit that's available right now to encourage people to stay in the house. But it's also kind of an enticement. Hey, if you like this, sign up for our program or service, whatever. So take advantage of it. Give it a test run. See if you like it. Yeah. I mean, I'm all about it. Sign up for all the free shit you can get. And if like I said, if it's something that, hey, this is dumb. I'll never watch the History Channel this much. I'm not paying $5 a month or whatever. Then don't do it. Same with CBS. But if you like it, it's a chance to give it a test run to see if you will like it enough to purchase it and be happy with it.
Yep.
So I'm all about it.
Okay, let me ask you this: are you a fan of Rick and Morty? Have you caught episodes of Rick and Morty?
My old roommate used to smoke a lot of weed and then watch Rick and Morty. Okay. So I've seen some of it. I don't smoke weed.
Right. No, we'd never admit to that. No, not at all.
But,
that Rick and Morty.
So I've seen a couple episodes of it. I haven't really been a follower of it. I don't hate it. I just don't.
Oh yeah. Rick and Morty is one of those truly divisive shows in that you either really love it or you're just not into it. But there's a rabid fan base for Rick and Morty episodes and the TV show. So so much so that the creator of Rick and Morty, the co-creator, Justin Roiland, is actually going on and creating a brand new show. And I'm going to split that out for you here because you guys are going to want to see this. The brand new show coming out soon. And it's really right down the road, right along the road. So basically, this is going to be called Solar Opposites. You get the pun, right? Instead of polar opposites, solar opposites. The basic premise centers on an extraterrestrials as they crash land on Earth following their planet's destruction and conveniently move into a ready-made home. So it's the trailer's out there. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's way over the top, like super way over the top, just as Rick and Morty is. They've got they're going to have great guest cameos, voices. They've got like Alan Tudyk and Tiffany Haddish, Rainn Wilson, Christina Hendricks is going to be on there. And so this comes from Justin Roiland and former head writer of Rick and Morty, Mike McCann. This is coming on Hulu. It comes out May 8th, so it's, like I said, right around the corner. It's going to be intense. I saw the trailer, and it is a not safe for work trailer. But I think Hulu's trying to get into that kind of Rick and Morty, obviously cashing in on the success of Rick and Morty, but also just they're trying to get out of thinking like, oh, Hulu's just for kids or Hulu's just, safe stuff to watch. Like, I think they want to get into more of that gritty, kind of, down and dirty, what have you. I mean, you look at the poster there from two of the behind Rick and Morty. They're trying to give you an idea of what it's all about. So,
remember they got Letterkenny on there. They're good.
Yeah.
So they got to prove.
Yeah. So I definitely think that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to say the least. I'm curious to see a lot of the stuff that both Roiland and Dan Harmon, who's the other co-creator of Rick and Morty, a lot of the stuff they touch is just like instant success, based on how and it's not just that based off all because they're Rick and Morty. Like they've done a lot of good stuff and they've wrote for a lot of big name shows. If you don't know like their back history and what the stuff that they've written on, a lot of great shows and truly really talented creators, the both of them. I already heard some comments where they're like, this is just a ripoff of Rick and Morty. I mean, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, American Dad is just a ripoff of Family Guy.
It's the same people who made it, though?
What I'm saying, like they're parlaying the same formula onto a different thing, and I tell you what. Family Guy was a ripoff of Simpsons, and then the guy that created Family Guy, Seth MacFarlane, just did it again with Family Guy. Or I'm not sorry, Family Guy, American Dad, and then did it again with the Cleveland Show, and then did it again. Like, he created the same, stuff over and over, and it worked out for him. So I mean, that's good for him. I'm gonna check it out because I'm a big Rick and Morty fan. Like you can actually see right there in my background is a Rick and Morty art book. That has a lot of the behind the scenes stuff that you can find about the show. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and we'll see how that comes out. I'm interested to check it out, and again, it's new stuff to watch while we're sitting here quarantined, and hopefully, I don't know, I don't know when this is gonna end, but hopefully we don't all go crazy before then. But all right, we are pretty much at the top of the hour, man. This is just flying by. I have so much more to talk about. Thank you guys again, everybody who's sitting there in the chats. And I saw your comment, King. I see your comment out there. He's asking if I've ever met Stan Lee. Oh, I'll tell you the story of how I met Stan Lee. I've actually met him multiple times, but I've got really good stories. And one day I'll actually sit down and we'll talk about all those fun stories and the interesting stories. But yeah, so you guys, thank you again for being here. We've got a ton more in the second hour, so definitely stick around. We're gonna take a small 10-minute break, and we'll be back with more Pop Culture Warrior. What say you, sir? Shots?
I'm shots. Let's do this.
All right, we'll be back in a moment.
You're listening to the sounds of WTF Nation Radio.
You got me staring out the window. 8 hours later, you're a no-show. We're waking up and fading out. Cirrus shapes I found blow me away. Van Allen right around, pushing through. Skin is brown. Nature has us trapped in fear, so I get lost in sound. I wonder if you'll ever know why I am the way I am. I've been thinking a lot about time and space surrounding. Is there anyone who is thinking like me? I've been thinking a lot about life is never
Call the show now at 415-889-8367. The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Hey, we're back, guys. We're back. Did you guys have a good break? You have a good break, everybody? Stretch your legs, move it out. What about you, Red? Are you with us, buddy?
Hell yeah, man.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Rocking and rolling, man. Oh, I love it. I'm feeling good. Thank you guys for hanging out with us and being here tonight. I mean, if you got a really good reason to be, because we're all stuck at home. So I appreciate you not watching Tiger King or any of the other shows and hanging out with us today and talking with us. It got me thinking over the course of the broadcast, and I was thinking to myself, what could I do to thank our listeners, to thank our fans, to help promote the show, to get people excited? I was thinking, what do you think, sir, about saying we've got about 20 people viewing right now, and how about if we can get to, what do you think, 50? I want a good starting number. I'm gonna say, let's say 50 viewers live of this broadcast right here, right now. If we can get to 50, I'll do a giveaway. Maybe like a CQ hat, or I have a couple of Pop Culture Warrior t-shirts. What do you think, Ray? You think that's a good idea?
I think it's a wonderful idea, dude. I'm in.
Okay.
Not quite sure how to do that. Tell everybody to watch.
Yeah. Share it out, man. If you take a second right now, we got about 20 or so people viewing. All you have to do is share it. If everybody brings one buddy to the show, boom, we hit 50, easy peasy. And then what I'm thinking is every week I want we'll increase that by 50, right? So let's say we hit our 50 mark today, then next week it'd be 100, and then I'll do another giveaway. And I can promise that the giveaways will get bigger and better. And as we're going to lead to something, I have something that is so cool, so limited edition, and I'm really excited to give it away. But we got to save it for a magnanimous occasion, a huge occasion for that. So if you're out there, if you're watching, you're one of the 20 people viewing live, share it out there. And for those of you that are watching this after the broadcast, and this is a replay for you or a podcast for you, then definitely try to encourage people to tune in next week live, because when we hit our goals, our milestones, I'm doing giveaways. Screw it all. I don't care. I want to reach people, and I want to show my appreciation of you guys coming out here and being part of this. So well, that's what we're gonna do. I've just said it. I've just declared it. It's a thing now. So Mr. Radar or any of one of the fans out there, if you guys spot that we are at 50 viewers, because I'm running the whole show as it is, if we get to 50 viewers, we'll do a giveaway. One person randomly chosen from the live studio audience will receive a wonderful prize. For now, either a CQ branded hat or a Pop Culture Warrior t-shirt. So definitely share it out there, guys. I'm excited about that. I'm okay with that.
I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't say that earlier, because we had like 50 viewers earlier.
Well, that's why it's the second hour. See, you gotta. It's all business, baby. You gotta drive the people, man, to where it's at. So, second hour, we're just getting started. All right. So a couple more things to talk about, TV news wise. Here's something that I'm always excited when studios, streaming platforms, all these companies take risk on beloved franchises, right? Because we've seen the superhero stuff. We've seen the Spider-Man, the Batman, the Superman. We've seen all that stuff. So when you get these smaller, less mainstream stuff, and they're willing to take a risk on it, I love it. And when it's done well, we've seen it with Umbrella Academy. I don't know if you caught season 1 of Umbrella Academy on Netflix. Super good, super well done. Obviously slightly altered from the original source comic book material, has to be, because there's things that they did in there that you just can't do on any network, but they did a really good job with it. Same with Lock and Key. So Netflix did a show called Lock and Key, again based off a graphic novel. It's an adaptation of the comic book series, also called Lock and Key. The good news is it was well received. Season 1 was well received, and they've been renewed for a second season. So the series debuted back in February, and the sophomore season was confirmed via social media to become to fruition. The new season is going to take the stakes even higher. The Locke siblings, as they embrace their roles as the new keepers of the keys. I don't want to spoil anything. Just a little game would be nice. I can so okay. I'm getting people saying that you guys can barely hear me. Okay, that's all right. That's interesting. All right, I'll give it some volume. If you guys say you can't hear me, then that's on me to deliver. How's